So, you say you voted yes for Prop 22 because you wanted more control over your life as an independent contractor? Well...
Stupid, that was stupid. No, you can't say that was smart. Stupid, sometimes we're stupid. Our brains have a missing part.
Do I like saying I told you so? I used to think I didn't like saying I told you so, but I think we're at the point where I have to admit it. I enjoy saying I told you so, at least in this situation, because for all the people who said I was a Debbie Downer, I didn't know I was talking about, that I was just being overtly negative when I said Uber was just going to screw you and screw you and screw you. People said, well, Prop 22 is a poorly written thing, therefore I have to vote, or no, AB 5 was a poorly written thing, so I had to vote yes. No. I told you so. I told you so. I told you that no matter what you did, Uber would screw you unless you screwed them first. Yeah, that meant you might have had to get up at an actual time in the morning. You couldn't stay up late anymore. Whoop-de-doo. Guess what? You are in a nosedive of hurt. How do I know this? Well, you know how before Prop 22 was passed, Uber and Lyft were doing things like letting you see the destination of where you go and let you set your own rates because you are in control of your own destiny. What is it that one loser from Las Vegas says? You are the creator of your own destiny. Nobody's going to do it for you. Except coming from the guy who's homeless and basically has no way to make a living because he does gig work. Yeah, that's a great one. So, anyway, you know how Uber was doing all that stuff to ensure that you guys could remain independent contractor, have more control. Just don't say no to Prop 22, because guess what? If you say no to Prop 22, all these things can go away. Guess what? They're going away anyway. What, Uber lied to you? You're shocked at this? Tell you what, if you're shocked that Uber is actually going back on their word on this one, you know what? I've got this unopened copy of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. It's worth $500,000, but I'll sell it to you for $250,000 because honestly, you kind of seem like you're the kind of person who might believe something like that. Anyway, I'm being overtly mean on this one. What can I say? I'm having a bad day. Let's talk about this Business Insider article. Uber gave drivers more control to prove they're independent. Now, the company's taking back control because drivers actually use it. And if they're actually using it, it means it's bad for Uber's business model. You really got to think about that one. So, in late 2019, California lawmakers passed AB 5, hoping to make it harder for companies such as Uber to skirt labor laws and offload healthcare and unemployment insurance costs to taxpayers by misclassifying workers as contractors, which is what they were doing the entire time. But Uber refused to comply, arguing that AB 5 didn't apply to its driver because they aren't core to its business, and that drivers are really independent because they're free from the control and direction of Uber. Yeah, let's see here. Drivers are the only reason Uber has a product. Drivers in the rideshare and drivers in Uber Eats. So clearly they're important because those are the only two ways that Uber makes money. As for they are free from control and direction of Uber, again, can they set their own rates? Can they see the destination? Can they have personal connections like favorite certain passengers? Can passengers favorite certain drivers? No, there's no control at all except what Uber gives you. Uber's algorithm. Another YouTuber, who will remain nameless because I have no issue against him, said, nobody can tell me what to do but me and Uber's algorithm, which basically means, yeah, you can't tell yourself to do squat. I'm sorry to say. Anyway, in an attempt to prove its independent argument, in January 2020, Uber gave California drivers more control by allowing them to set their own prices for rides and see passengers' destination before picking them up. Keep in mind, Prop 22 was a very serious threat, and AB 5 had already been signed into law. Regulators and courts didn't buy it, but fortunately for Uber, a $200 million PR campaign around Prop 22 was successfully persuaded California voters to exempt it from AB5, saving the company as much as $500 million per year, a 2019 estimate by Barclays analyst showed. Wow, $500 million. Boy, Uber should treat the drivers to... who am I kidding? They're not going to treat the drivers to anything. Now that Uber no longer needs to convince California authorities that its drivers are independent, keep in mind, now that Uber no longer needs to convince California authorities that its drivers are independent, the company plans to reclaim control, revoking the price setting and passenger destination features it gave drivers barely a year ago, the San Francisco Chronicle reported Monday. Uber's reason for the reversal? Too many drivers took advantage of the control Uber gave them, picking the most profitable rides while declining others, which made it harder for customers to get rides and hurt Uber's business, the company said. The Chronicle reported that 1/3 of drivers turned down 80% of rides. Now, some people are going to come to me and say, well, Kevin, that's a perfectly legitimate reason for Uber to do this then. Uber's a business. They can't lose money. I don't know why people say that. They've been losing money for the last decade, but whatever. Uber has to do this if drivers are taking advantage of it. No, that's not how this works. If you are an independent contractor, you know what? It is not Uber's business how you control your life. If Uber letting you have control of your business is going to hurt them as a business, then maybe Uber should not have independent contractors as the core of their business model. But then again, that's not what this is about, is it? Uber knows damn well that you are employees. And they're just calling you independent contractors because they don't want to pay you money. Yeah. Yes, on Prop 22. Give away your bargaining chip. Industry observers said the move is hardly surprising. Of course it's not surprising. I told you they would do this. But it undermines Uber's claim that the changes were ever about anything more than dodging regulation. Yeah, but Uber doesn't care because they bought a law and now they are exempt, and frankly, if there's anything we can do about it, it's going to be a long, long time before we can. Uber did not respond to a request for comment to the story. And hey, Harry Campbell, buddy, Harry Campbell, I love that you're still getting called for the articles. Sincerely, Harry's a good guy. It really shouldn't be a shock to anyone, he said. Since they passed Prop 22, there's nothing holding them accountable for these charges. Really? It's almost as if I said that if Prop 22 passed, there would be nothing holding them accountable. Do I like saying that? I told you so. In this case, I told you so. I like saying that in this case. Campbell said that drivers likely won't be happy given the popularity of price setting and passenger destination features, but added, it's kind of, unfortunately, a bit of a pattern that Uber specifically often gives drivers some things that they want and then ends up taking them away. And they're especially going to give you what you want when they're trying to convince you, and there goes my watch, of course. What do you know? A Monster Hunter for Switch. Sorry, let me turn this on silent because I don't want to edit this. But yeah, Uber is, of course, going to give you things when they're trying to convince you to vote the way they want. And then once you vote that way, they're going to take them back. Hey, we're not friends anymore. Have I said I told you so yet? I told you so. Anyway. In response to the Chronicle's reporting, Gig Workers Rising, who for the record I do like. I mean, I think they're fighting a hopeless battle at this cause, but I do like them, which advocates on behalf of ride-hailing and food delivery drivers, tweeted, "Is there a single Prop 22 promise that Uber hasn't broken?" alluding to Uber's history of misleading claims during its Prop 22 campaign. There probably is one, but it won't be long before they break that one too. But by revoking some driver-friendly features, Uber, which has yet to turn a profit, also disclosed some of its post-pandemic priorities. Companies such as Uber and Lyft rely on flooding the market with drivers who then face pressure to accept lower-paying rides, or risk another driver getting the job, or risk getting penalized themselves for turning down too many rides, even if those rides are unprofitable. Yeah, there's a reason they call it slave labor, because you are literally a slave to this system, to this algorithm, and you take jobs that are not profitable because, hey, if you don't take them, someone else will. And of course, really, with the way that they cover things up, there's no way to know whether or not that ride's going to be profitable anyway. But during the pandemic, there has been a shortage of Uber and Lyft drivers because of a drop in demand for rides and a concern among drivers about getting sick and the companies didn't provide healthcare sick pay. So obviously that would be a real concern for them. That's also, by the way, when all the rideshare channels started tanking because people who did rideshare, well, no longer needed to watch YouTube rideshare channels. And even as rider demand returns, many drivers are still staying home. With fewer drivers on the road and Uber drivers able to freely reject unprofitable rides, they're driving up their wages. That means higher prices and longer wait times for passengers, which Uber isn't happy about because obviously nothing kills a company faster than saying, hey, product's too expensive now. You know? So, Campbell continues to say, the companies, strangely, they care more about reliability than profitability at this moment in time. They want to make sure that the platform is working like everyone expects, and if drivers are ignoring 80% of requests, that means it literally is going to take longer for you to get matched with a driver. Yeah, because Uber is going through they're going the Jeff Bezos route, where Jeff Bezos didn't care that Amazon was losing money for 20 years. He was just concerned that the customer was happy. And granted, it kind of paid off. After 20 years, the company is now insanely profitable and is killing all these other industries. Uber is 10 years old, so hey, maybe if they keep it up for 10 more years, maybe they can pull another rabbit out of the magic hat. Who knows? Campbell said Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash and other platforms are offering huge incentives to drivers, such as $250 bonus for completing 20 rides, as they struggle to get them back on the road. As with past promises, those incentives and other driver-friendly features could just as easily disappear if the market becomes saturated with drivers again and companies regain the upper hand, but Campbell said that there needs to be a middle ground. If Uber is going to be able to get away with paying drivers like independent contractors, I think that's kind of some of the control that they have to give up and find a way to make work. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So anyway, this article, totally agree with it, and I am totally unsurprised by the outcome. Everyone watching this channel should not be surprised either. I do not want to hear, you can leave them if you want, but I do not want to hear your whining about how Prop 22 was poorly written or how you don't want to be an employee. Guess what? You are an employee, you were an employee, and you will forever be an employee, except you're not going to be paid like an employee. I mean, sure, you can work overtime on Uber, you can set your own schedules, but guess what? When I work overtime, I get paid double what I make. Just saying, I get paid double, and schedules aren't that difficult to maintain. But anyway, it's pretty much a done deal. What advice do I have for you? Well, my advice is this. You made your bed, now you're either going to sleep in it or you're going to get another job. That's basically what it is. Me, I'm launching our new year-long project tomorrow, so come back and I'm going to show you at least one way you can make more money than driving for Uber. And guess what? For the most part, you don't even have to leave the house. Anyway, I would like to know what you think overall, but again, whining, I'm just going to laugh because, again, you did this to yourselves. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Actually, maybe you don't have to flame responsibly this time. I'm certainly not flaming responsibly. You are the creator of your own destiny. Nobody's going to do it for you, so get off your lazy ass and get a real job. Actually, last thing before you leave, just want to throw it out there, but because you passed Prop 22, grocery store workers in California, like truck drivers who did have retirement plans, who did have steady paying jobs, lost their jobs and were replaced with DoorDash drivers who were willing to deliver the groceries for $2.80. So, good job.